G'day, I'm Andrew Marshall with the Northern Australia Climate Program at the University of Southern Queensland. And this is a short summary of the Bureau of Meteorology's climate outlook for the Northern Territory for the weeks and months ahead, issued in the last week of March 2026. So we'll take a look at the rainfall outlooks to begin with, starting with these outlook scenarios. And these are the rainfall totals that have a 75% chance of occurring for your region. So looking ahead to the 3 months from April to June, we're seeing a 75% chance of between 2 and 10 millimetres for southern parts of the Territory and 50 to 100 millimetres or more for northern parts of the Top End and East Arnhem, most of which is forecast to occur in April as we start heading into the dry season. Now keep an eye on the outlook this week. It will be updated on Thursday afternoon for the May to July period. Now, thoughts are very much with those of you still working under difficult circumstances with heavy rainfall, damaging winds and flooding continuing to affect large parts of the Territory. Please look after yourselves and reach out to your local climate mate for the latest guidance around weather and climate conditions for your region. And as always, you can use this magnifying glass feature right here to drill deeper into forecast for your region or location of interest to break the forecast down into the chance of different rainfall amounts occurring. And this will give you an idea of how conditions are likely to be compared to the historical median. Your local climate mate will also be happy to go through this with you in more detail. All right, now let's look at the temperatures and the differences from average. For maximum temperatures show mostly warmer conditions for the 2 weeks from the 3rd to the 16th of April, particularly in central and southern parts of the Territory. And here the average is calculated over the 1981 to 2018 period for this time of year. Now for minimum temperature, we're also expecting warmer than average conditions in most regions over that 2-week period. Now looking at the chance of extremes map for the 3 months from April to June, we're seeing an elevated chance of unusually warm days across the southern half of the NT and unusually warm nights in some eastern and southern parts. And by unusually warm, we mean the highest 20% of historical temperature records for this time of year based on the 1981 to 2018 period. Now remember, these long-range forecasts for rainfall and temperature provide the best guidance for local climate, so that is our focus here as always, and these forecasts consider all ocean and atmosphere conditions that affect seasonal weather and climate. But if you are interested in some of the climate indicators that can influence the forecast, we will have a quick look at these now. And sea surface temperatures for much of the Australian region remain warmer than average in the forecast for the 3 months from April to June, except parts of the north. And these warmer than average waters are particularly notable in the Tasman Sea. Now, warmer oceans can provide increased moisture and energy, and that can enhance the severity of storms, cyclones and rain systems. Now, the La Nina event is close to its end. All models indicate further warming of the tropical Pacific is likely, with a shift to El Nino possible by the end of winter, so we'll keep an eye on that. Now, the Indian Ocean dipole is neutral, with most model forecasts indicating it will remain neutral until at least early winter this year. And the Madden-Julian Oscillation, or the MJO, has been at moderate strength over the Pacific recently, and it's forecast to gradually increase strength while moving into the Western Hemisphere in April. So when in the Western Hemisphere, the MJO can reduce rainfall over large parts of the country. The Southern Annular Mode, or the SAM, was in its positive phase for a few days last week, and it's forecast to be neutral through most of April. Now turning to the pasture growth from long paddock for the 3 months from March to May, we are expecting to see pasture growth across Northern Australia as shown here in response to the recent and forecast rainfall in the months ahead, with some areas of high, medium and low growth predicted. And finally, don't forget to visit the NACP Cattle Comfort Index prototype forecast at nacp.org.au for information on how heat stress conditions are likely to vary over Northern Australia in the days ahead. Now, index values between 30 and 35 degrees represent moderate stress to cattle. Values between 35 and 40 degrees represent severe stress, and values above 40 degrees are considered extreme. And you can explore other forecast products here as well and read a whole lot more about the Northern Australia Climate Program. Now, as always, for more information and updates, visit the Bureau's climate pages at bom.gov.au/climate. If you have any questions about weather and climate conditions, including recent and current extreme events or the use of forecast information, please reach out to your local climate mate. Stay safe and see you next time.